have you with us on what is a beautiful Saturday morning. 67 degrees here today. Field quick coming out of turn number 12. We'll look to the flagman, Aaron Likens, and we're at it, folks. Early to the flag. Green, green, green. Mossman down to the bottom of the racetrack. Garcia's going to dive up the inside of Matt Clark as well. Can the Pro 2000 drivers get through here cleanly? A little bit of a lock up there. Does anybody go to the escape route? They do not. Yes, yes, yes. Great job for the Pro 2000 drivers. Impressive to get through cleanly. I think that might be Garcia out front from P4. It is. Are you kidding me? Max Garcia has dominated the action. He's able to get through cleanly. Maybe a little lockup for Frankie Mossman. But there's a long way to go, like I said. This is a 30-lapper. Everybody got to get through these opening couple of laps. Clean and green through turn number 6 and 7. One driver off further back, dropping a wheel, get back on the track here. We'll give you a full field rundown when they come back to start-finish. So, listen, we can all take that collective breath we've wanted because we were all holding it through turns number 1, 2, and 3. They are back underway. Some great stuff here. Everybody's settling in. Oh, a little bit of a slider there. Someone's going to lose a spot coming through turn number 10. Yeah, you can't make a mistake like that. Brienza, I believe, making a move to the inside of one of the TJ Speed Motorsports cars. I think that might have been Ariel Elkin. We'll see. Oh, how about 3 wide, folks, down into turn number 1. Man, oh man. Look at this, 3 wide through the chicane. Someone's not making it. Yeah, that was one of the exclusive Autosport cars not able to make it. He came through and back. Oh, driver's gone off as well. We may have one off on the outside of turn number 2. Unsure whether that driver will continue, but a driver is spun off coming through turn number 2. Wow. So it looks like Garcia the leader, Clark in the second. Unsure whether or not we'll go full course. Indeed we are. Full course yellow for a driver off. Sounds like it's the number 26 of Miles Bromley. Tough for Miles. His debut race here in the USF Pro 2000 category. He is off. Garcia is the leader. Clark second. Frankie Mossman fell to third as the Honda Civic Type R pace car will head onto the racetrack as the drivers come out onto the front straightaway. Taylor fourth, Costello fifth, Jacob Douglas in sixth spot, DeTulio in seventh. Eighth is Elkin. So it wasn't Elkin who had the trouble. Yeah, it was Elkin and Brienza. No, actually it was Brienza by Manson. That was the pass I talked about in turn number 5. Manson had a bit of trouble coming through turn number 10 rather, lost the rear, had to gather it up, and when he did, Joey Brienza was able to put it down to the inside. Although I'm not sure whether it was Brienza or one of the other drivers who did not make the chicane coming through turn number 1 and 2. Tough one there for Miles Bromley as he went off just on the exit of turn number 2. Not sure if there was contact or what happened, but he went off as he exited 2. So an early yellow in a 30-lap race for USF Pro 2000. Frankie Mossman tried to get the lead at the start, not quite. Great opening couple of corners for Max Garcia, as he somehow was able to come from 4th to take over the lead on the exit. I know that he made a good move to the inside of Matt Clark coming down into turn number 1. He got a good run and was able to get to the inside of Clark down into the braking zone of 1. Mossman, I would believe, would have had the position, so I'm assuming he probably dove to the inside. Mossman might have had some issue, over broke or something. Either that or an over-under coming out of turn number 2. Field at pace car speed behind that Civic Type R. There's Garcia, Clark, Mossman, 1, 2, 3. Taylor, 4th. Costello, 5th. 6th, Douglas. 7th, DeTulio. 8th, Elkin. 9th and 10th, Brienza. And then the D-Force car of George Garcia. Pace car still on the racetrack as the cleanup continuing down in turn number 2. Exit 2 between 2 and 3. Miles Bromley, TJ Speed Motorsports driver, off. Not a great start for the Aussie. Hate to see that for the young driver who's been toiling in the paddock all year long. had a chance to actually interview Miles in Toronto talking about this coming weekend in Portland. And when I said that, I was coming to interview him, I talked to one of his fellow mechanics. They're like, we almost hate that he's driving. He's such a good mechanic. So, indeed, they lost a great mechanic but gained a third driver on the weekend. Hopefully we'll see Miles back for the entire 2026 season. All right, we're going to get a chance to have a look at the start here, folks, because I want to kind of see how Garcia was able to get the job done. He did get the run on Clark early from P4, so I think he was into second, pretty much into the braking zone in the turn-in of 1. So here they come here. We'll wait for that green flag coming. Aaron threw it a bit early, which I like. Allows the field to stretch out a little bit. And watch this. Boom, big run there to the inside for Garcia. Yeah, he gets to the inside there, so that's the move for Garcia. Got a good jump, and that's playing off the guy in front of him. What happened to Frankie Mossman, though, coming into the corner? Yeah, there's that left front lock up. He's going to have to really whoa it up. Remember, he's got to get around to the apex. Yeah, he just had to whoa it up so much, and DeTulio behind him had to check up. That's what allowed everybody to get back around. So listen, I'm going to throw this out here now. That was, obviously, Frankie's not going to like the lockup. He would like to have been able to get through that corner, but he did what you're supposed to do. He kept on that brake, kept applying the brake to make sure that he was going to get to the right side of the turn 2 curbing. If you go to the left side of the curbing, you've cut the chicane, there's going to be a penalty. Really, you're supposed to come all the way back around and go through the essentially penalty lane to the far left side of the racetrack. He did not do that. Instead was able to get to where he needed to be. So Mossman, a lot of talent to be able to get that done. We are going to go back to green flag racing right now, folks. We are underway. Green flag as they'll work their way again down. This is an opportunity for Matt Clark. He's going to defend to the inside from Mossman. Does Clark have anything here today? Right with him. Oh, a little lockup further back there for one of the turn 3 cars, but restart looks good so far. Had a lot of chaos in our starts for USF Juniors and USF 2000 yesterday. If you were trackside or watching online, it was messy. Just a couple of issues, drivers getting checked up. We saw that big wreck for Timmy Carell in USF 2000. I've been messaging with him today. He's fine, a little sore, but thankfully able to get out on his own steam from the car after the AMR IndyCar team arrived on scene. But the pro drivers showing why we add that pro into it, right? And very impressive. Start and restart. All those drivers able to get through turn 1, 2, and 3 cleanly. I love it. Clark at that exclusive Autosport number 90, putting his head down. Can he chase down Garcia? Clark has had so many podium finishes this year. 1 in St. Petersburg, 1 at NOLA, 2 at Indianapolis. On the podium at IRP in the oval race. He was second and third and second at Road America. And then 2 third place finishes at Mid-Ohio and a third at Toronto. Just a ton of podiums for Matt Clark, second-year driver here. And he is starting to close on Garcia. 6 laps into a 30-lap contest. This is kind of when you settle down. This is when you kind of get into the groove. There's no need to push right now. You don't want to burn the tires off. Take care of the Continentals. See what happens as the race goes on. Did you guys put together a car that is going to have good long-run pace? Yeah, you want to be good out of the gate for sure. Give yourself some kind of a gap, but you've got to set the car up. The tire pressures are going to be low, knowing that they're going to come in and the car's going to be better later in the race. Bobby Corser and Phil Martelli joining me in the booth here. They are the voice of this event. Phil, you stand up here beside watching this race with me here. We saw a lot of chaos yesterday. That was a really solid start from the top levels, top drivers in our program.
Awesome start, not just an awesome start, but even at the next lap back, we almost had an incident, able to take care of everything, and I'm very impressed compared to yesterday.
Bobby, what do you think on that deal? Obviously, some chaos yesterday for sure, but nice to see those guys able to settle it down. Maybe the juniors and 2000 drivers will watch that and say, I want to be like those guys.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday about guys having to watch their brethren and sisters do this much better. Clearly, that didn't happen yesterday. Today, though, different story. Able to get through 1, no problem. And as we go back to green flag racing here, it's nose to tail. No issue so far. Yeah,
now you got to go to work. Now the drivers, wherever you are on the racetrack, you got to put your head down and keep digging. That's the key here now. Because we saw a lot of it yesterday when Jack Jeffers, second place driver in USF 2000, was trying to put the pressure on Thomas Schrag to force him into a mistake. Just kept that pressure on. That's what you're going to see here. A lot of these drivers now, there's more aero wash in some of the long duration corners here because as you move up the ranks, of course, from USF 2000 to USF Pro 2000, you stack a little bit more aerodynamic downforce on the race car. So there's a lot more downforce on these cars, but that also means they're dependent on the air flowing over the front wing. So when you get through some of the long duration corners like a 4, 5, 6, and then back to 6 and 7, where you're trying to carry that corner speed, you're relying on that front wing to keep the front planted as you place yourself into the corner. If you get close up behind someone, you don't get the air over top of that wing, you lose that aerodynamic downforce. At that point, the car wants to push. It wants what they call understeer. It wants to push out through the corner, and as you're doing that, you're always working the tires a little more. You're not able to go back to power as early, so when you're behind someone, it's a little bit tougher. Oftentimes, you'll see a driver maybe move out a half a lane to try to get some air over the wing on the outside. Right now, Max Garcia doing what he's done all year long, and that is pulling away as the race leader. Great job for him. Mac Clark running in second, Frankie Mossman third, Max Taylor fourth, Michael Costello fifth. This is big for Mac Clark as well. He's trying to take over second spot in the points from Ariel Elkin. Elkin currently running a little further back right now in the 8th position, and the other driver in the fight there as well is Alessandro De Tullio. He currently runs in 7th. So Clark where he needs to be to potentially add some points, trying to lock down P2 in the championship. Mossman right there with him though. Frankie Mossman right there with Matt Clark. Fast lap so far is Frankie Mossman right there with Clark. Yeah, look at him, length back. And that's the one thing for Clark as well. He was focusing on trying to close up on Garcia, but the minute you have that guy behind you, you can't put 100% focus on forward. You're kind of thinking about the guy behind you a little bit. You're thinking about maybe defensive. The best thing for Clark right now is to have the driver P4, Max Taylor, and the number 88, battling with his VRD teammate, Frankie Mossman. If Mossman's got to think about Taylor, he can't think about Clark. So that's one of the things a lot of these drivers learn, how to split that focus, how to understand where you may be. Did you get a really good run out of the corner? If so, maybe you don't need to worry about the guy behind, because he's likely, even if he got the same run, is not as close. So Clark's going to keep digging hard here. Just the early parts of this race. We did 15 laps for USF Juniors, 25 laps for USF 2000, 30 laps for the USF Pro 2000 drivers. That's, again, all part of the progression. Add more laps, because, of course, when they get into Indy next, it's going to be another X amount of laps. When you get into IndyCar, it's triple the laps, right? So the bottom line is we try to keep pushing these drivers to be better in terms of fitness and their strength and their ability, the endurance to go long time into a race. So 30 laps, another 5 laps more than USF 2000 in a car that's significantly tougher to drive. More horsepower, bigger tires means more grip, more downforce. It's a lot harder to drive these USF Pro 2000 cars than it is a USF 2000 car. Talk a lot about the fact that Max Garcia already with the championship, but trying to, again, get some victories, because he's trying to beat that record for Kyle Kirkwood. This USF Pro Championship program first made the trip here to the Pacific Northwest back in 2018 with IndyCar when it came back to Portland International Raceway. And look back at the history books, and in USF 2000, guess which driver got both wins in USF 2000, 2018? How about Kyle Kirkwood? Not surprising. That year in the USF Pro 2000 category, it was David Malukas coming away with a win there as well, and Oliver Askew, who is here this weekend coaching, reserve driver in the Formula E program as well. Had some time in IndyCar. Oliver, a tremendous driver. Garcia's lead now out to 1.5 seconds, and he retook the fast lap of the race as well from Frankie Mossman. Again, he's already got the championship, Max Garcia. We've got the championship trophy at the podium presentation right now. We're going to give that to him. We didn't have it up in Toronto when he won the championship. We have it here in Portland, so it's going to be, if he ends up winning this race, it's going to be double celebration. He's going to get the P1 trophy for winning, but we're also at the end of that going to celebrate his championship by awarding him the championship trophy. We do have our championship celebration on Monday evening. Looking forward to having everybody gathered there for all 3 of our series. Top 3 drivers will be honored. Of course, the champions all winning those scholarships to move up to the next level in 2026. But Garcia trying to put the exclamation point on the end of a season, stacking on those wins. Started third, was able to get a better run with Mossman getting the jump, was able to tuck to the inside of Matt Clark, took over second and sent you down into the braking zone. And then with Mossman locking up slightly, but still able to get over to turn number 2. Just a nice over-under, back on power early for Garcia. Railed around the outside, the top line, and came away with the race lead. And this is what he's done so many times this year. Once he's out front like this, with clean air, fully leveraging the aerodynamic downforce of these cars, never having to worry about aero wash, putting down the laps. If I were to guess right now, his fastest lap came on lap number 9, just a couple laps ago. We talk a lot about the fact that as these cars get lighter and they burn down the fuel, the Continentals hold on so good throughout the entire race run. We're going to see fast laps at the very end. And if he's got a big lead, I would bet that Garcia would probably call in and say, hey, can I throw one big lap down? If he doesn't have the P1 lap, he's going to say, can I throw a big lap down? Because when you get out to a lead like he has right now, 2 seconds, you probably back off to maybe 95%. You don't want to back off too much, because if you do, that's when you make mistakes. These drivers really work on their focus, and it's amazing how the fact that these cars drive really well when they're being pushed, when you drive them at 100%. You try to drive one of these cars are a handful to drive on the cool down lap because you're not using any of the aerodynamic downforce. You're not getting the car to rotate at all when you throw it into a corner. They're hard to drive on the cool down. They love being pushed hard. They love being driven fast. The faster you go, the more the aerodynamics work. So you may not want to back off too much. But as we close on the halfway point, Garcia leads, Clark second, Mossman third, Taylor fourth, Costello fifth, Douglas in sixth spot, DeTulio in seventh, Ariel Elkin is in eighth. As they run on the racetrack right now, let me have a quick look here. As they run on the racetrack with Clark in the second spot and Elkin in the eighth spot, Matt Clark would take second place in the points at this time by about 9 points. So Kyle Kirkwood has the record, single season win record at 9 here in USF Pro 2000. Max Garcia rolls in here with 7. He needs to win both races this weekend to tie Kyle Kirkwood. He has done something that Kyle Kirkwood has done as well, and that's go back-to-back championships in USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. So again, we talk about generational talents. I'm very fortunate through my work with ekartingnews.com as a karting journalist and commentator for the last 30 years to be able to have had a chance to watch a lot of these young drivers when they first started karting, in kid karts, in cadet, in the mini and micro divisions. To watch them kind of come up through and into junior. A lot of times they'll run junior, maybe a year of senior, then move into cars. I was able to watch Kyle Kirkwood do that, come through all the karting ranks and be one of the top drivers before he moved into cars through F4 through USF 2000. Same goes for Max Garcia, watching him race down in Homestead, Florida, and in all the big national events throughout the year. Superkarts USA Pro Tour, the United States Pro Kart Series. Max was a front runner in all of those events. And to match what we're seeing from Kyle Kirkwood, that signals the driver who you're going to be talking about and watching here in Portland for many years to come in the NTT IndyCar Series. He'll go to Indy next in 2026, as we know, scholarship worth almost $600,000 to make that move. Looking forward to, of course, the announcement of which team he'll be with. I'm sure he'll be testing very quickly after the end of the season. The Indy Next Series has their official Chris Griffiths Memorial Test at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in late October each year. He'll be part of that for certain. But again, following in the footsteps of so many great USF Pro 2000 champions, the last 7 of which, 5 are in IndyCar, 2 are stars in Indy Next right now. Rinus VK, Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, Louis Foster. And the last 2 champions, Miles Rowe and Lockie Hughes, of course, as we know, race winners this year in Indy Next and bound for IndyCar. at the halfway point of this one. Drivers settling in. Not a lot of great battles on the racetrack, but that's what you'll see here because, again, we talk about the fact that these cars struggle a little bit with aerodynamic downforce and the aero wash to the long duration corners here. As you point the car in to turn number 9, 10, 11, if you're too close, you're going to get that car has that mid-corner understeer. It wants to push, it wants to get away from the racing line. You've got to sometimes have to pedal a little bit, get off the throttle and wait for the car to come back. It's a good little fight there. Joey Brienza in 10th spot. Sebastian Manson running in 9th. The Kiwi versus the American. Last time by, Brienza quicker by 0.3 of a second than Manson. That may be one of the best battles on the racetrack right now, that fight for 9th and 10th. Now there's a good scrap there between two of the Turn 3 Motorsports cars. That's, I believe, Cooper Becklin. Actually, no, that's Cooper Becklin going after the D-Force car of Garcia Arce. So Cooper Becklin, the Portland native, in the number 2, putting pressure on the 10 of Garcia Arce. That's for 11th spot. .67 degrees trackside. It'll be a much different race tomorrow afternoon for these drivers in USF Pro 2000. 30 laps in 67 degrees, it's much different than 30 laps in 90 degrees, which is what we expect to have tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully these drivers will spend the next 24 hours getting hydrated. All right, we got more racing here as well. A couple of the drivers from Pabst Racing are on top of each other. That's one as well to watch. Michael Costello and Jacob Douglas. Costello runs in 5th. Douglas putting all the pressure on in the number 19. Douglas, the New Zealander, has won here before. I think he won a couple of races here at USF 2000 as well. Very talented young driver. Did not race with us last year. Did USF 2000 a couple of years ago. Very limited schedule, I believe, in 2024. I think he did a GB3 race in Europe. All focused on trying to get back here to the United States for 2025. Joining up with Pabst Racing, obviously a strong team. They won the team championship this year on the strength of Garcia, Douglas, and Costello working together to get that team championship. But again, you kind of look at the names on this list right now. Garcia's going to Indy next, we know that. Matt Clark very likely to Indy next as well. Max Taylor's already run a couple of next races. Frankie Mossman's already tested for Indy next as well, but he may come back for USF Pro, we'll see. But you think about having Mossman back, Costello back, Douglas back. I would think that DeTulio and Elkin may be looking forward to trying to get into an Indy next ride. You get Joey Brienza back as well. I'm telling you. And then, of course, you got the rookie class coming up from USF 2000 that are going to be stellar. A lot of talent in USF 2000 this year. Throw in Liam McNeely, the Englishman, was only able to run the first 5 races of the year before visa issues. Did the pro car at Toronto a couple of weeks ago, and Sean there for sure. Very impressive. He'll be back very likely with Jay Howard Driver Development Pro in 2026. Garcia still with the fastest lap. Yeah, and that lap coming on, I believe, lap number 18. So, again, cars are getting lighter. Fuel's burning off. Tires still holding up. Both Garcia and Clark turning their fastest laps. Clark lost about 0.2 of a second. It's 3.1 seconds right now, but Clark does have a full second on Frankie Mossman. With DeTulio down in 7th and Elkin in 8th. Matt Clark looking to take over P2 of the championship. Pabst Racing has Garcia P1, Douglas 5th, Costello 6th. Exclusive Autosport, Matt Clark running in 2nd. Joey Brienza in 10th, Carson Etter 15th. VRD Racing 3rd and 4th with Mossman and Taylor, that 2-car team. Turn 3 Motorsports led by Alessandro DeTulio, currently running in the 7th spot. Cooper Becklin 12th, Brady Golan 13th, Pike Durst 14th. TJ Spees has Ariel Elkin and Sebastian Manson 8th and 9th, with Miles Bromley out after the incident in turn number 2. And the lone D-Force driver, George Garciarsi, in 11th. Here's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Clark, Mossman, Taylor. And hey, Jacob Douglas able to get by Costello. Jacob Douglas, remember, he's by Costello again. He's trying to see if he can't get himself up as well. Douglas is only 12 points behind DeTulio. DeTulio runs in 7th, Douglas 5th. So Douglas in 5th would put him at 307. DeTulio in 7th, 316. Douglas could knock down 9 points. It'll be 9 points between 4th and 5th. So Jacob Douglas still trying to fight his way up to P4 in the championship. So great to have him back in the program this year. I took 20 plus young rookie racers over to Pabst Racing yesterday afternoon. G3 Argyros, Michael Costello, and Jacob Douglas entertained the young fans. A lot of great questions. Normally, well, how fast do you go? Are you ever scared? Have you had a big wreck? You ever peed in the car? That happens all the time. The question, not so much the act. IndyCar drivers will tell you in some of those long races, you can't get to the bathroom. It happens. Garcia doing it again. This is absolutely unbelievable. Trying to win his 8th race of the year. 9 races with Kyle Kirkwood. And as I often say, any driver like this, the champion driver, I ask them a lot about, what's it going to take to win the championship. They'll often tell you, I'm just going to try to win races, let the championship take care of itself. That happens all the time. That's what they say. I just want to win races. But in the end, it's the champions that put the hammer down, right? They dig for the end. They want that exclamation point at the end of a season. They don't want to go out with a whimper. They want to go out with a roar. Because to be honest, Garcia didn't even have to race this weekend. He could have sat out if he wanted. But that's not what you want to do. You want to come to Portland. You want to keep digging. You want to put the pressure on. Look at this fight here. Alessandro DeTulio is closed up now on Michael Costello. That's the best battle we have on the racetrack. 9 laps remaining. Garcia out comfortably by 3.4 seconds. But DeTulio looking to grab a couple of more points. And I think he's got it done. He does. DeTulio's by. Book it. DeTulio up to P4. And that's going to lock down his 4th a little more. He and Douglas battling for 4th and 5th in the championship. It'll likely be around 10 points between those two drivers going into the finale tomorrow afternoon. Jacob Douglas 5th, DeTulio 6th, Costello back to 7th, Elkin in 8th, Manson 9th, Brienza 10th. As they run on the racetrack. With Clark in 2nd, he would go to 337 points. Elkin currently running in 8th. That would move Elkin to 328. So as they run, Matt Clark will move into 2nd place in points by 9 markers. There's the 27 there of Ariel Elkin. Lots of room. His teammate Manson 6.4 seconds back. Brienza less than a second behind Manson. DeTulio up on the wheel, but not quite as quick as Douglas on that last lap. Don't know whether we're done with the battle here between Manson and Brienza. Brienza's putting a lot of pressure on, gets a good run down into turn number 1 there. That's them there. Being told a driver into the pit lane. George Garce Arce has pulled into the pits for D-Force Racing. It's been a rough couple of races for George, the young Mexican driver. There's the battle right there. That's the fight for 9th and 10th. Brienza right there now with Sebastian Manson. Brienza, look at the pressure he's putting on. He's only a length and a half back, and not far behind them either is Cooper Becklin. The local pilot out of Portland, putting the pressure on here. Got a lot of racing out of Pat's Acres Racing Complex, the karting facility out in Canby, Oregon. Great racetrack, one of my absolute favorite tracks, the park. One of the great karting families as well, the Eggers. But Cooper Becklin's been around that bull ring of a racetrack many times as he works his way up through the ranks here. We're going to have ourselves a battle here, I think. Brands is putting all the pressure on Manson. 6 laps to go. Garcia leads by 2.5. Clark chips into it a bit by about a 10th. Oh yeah, look at this, and Becklin sees it. Becklin's ready to come to the party. The fight for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Best one on the racetrack now. Garcia Arce back out onto the racetrack after a quick pit stop. This is the fight, 9th, 10th, 11th. Manson, Brienza, Becklin, TJ Speed, exclusive, turn 3. 3 different drivers, 3 different teams. Love it. A couple of Americans trying to battle the Kiwi. Let's see whether or not Brienza decides to go full send. Brienza's trying to get himself into the top 10 in points as well. Nicholas Montiero, 8th place in points with 185, is actually running Indy next this weekend. So I would expect that Becklin, Mossman, and Brienza will all get themselves up into the top 10 when it's all said and done. This is that battle again across start finish. Brienza's there, but so is Becklin. Brienza's got to get close enough to potentially put Manson on the defensive. I'll give it up for Sebastian. He hasn't made that defensive move where you cover off the inside of the corner. Look at this, Brienza within a length coming out of turn number 4 and 5. Through 4, 5, 6. We talked about this yesterday in the USF 2000 race when Jack Jeffers was putting so much pressure on Thomas Schrag and trying to force him into that mistake. This is not an easy track to overtake on. There's not a lot of places to make that pass. Of course, down in turn number 1, driver makes a mistake, potentially the end of the straightaway here into turn number 9 and 10, but you got to send it. Brienza doesn't even have a look, leveraging the arrow. Oh, that's as close as he's been. Brienza up on the gearbox, but again, he's going to have that little bit of arrow wash there. Oh, Brienza's close. This will be it. There goes, down to the bottom goes Manson. He hasn't committed all the way to the bottom. Watch for the big over-under for Becklin. Here comes the over-under for Brienza as well. Little brake lock up. Oh, this is getting good. Brienza's all over him. Becklin looking to pick up the pieces. You can see Cooper Becklin stay far to driver's left. He was trying the full over-under if they got together coming down into the braking zone. Cooper ready to pounce. His teammate Brady Golan sees it as well. Manson's holding them up all in a big way right now. They're down to 109.6s. They're almost 2 seconds off. Manson, again, holding everybody up there. Brienza needs to pull the trigger here. It'll be 3 to go when they get back around. Oh, Brienza's looking at it. Manson's going to cover the inside. Brienza's going to try the outside into turn number 9. Can he pull it? He's around the outside through 9. Not quite enough. Cooper Becklin's going to get a run. Look at this. Golan coming in. Durst coming in. The turn 3 drivers lining up to be part of the action. Again, not all the way down to the bottom. This is good stuff for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Big wide run for Brienza. He's going to try around the outside, locks it up. He's going to lose a spot potentially. Becklin goes to the outside. They're side by side coming out of turn number 2 to 3. Brienza went for it. Did he lose a spot? Golan's going to throw it to the inside of his teammate. No, he still got it. Golan, though, goes to the inside. Oh, Becklin had a shot at it. But Golan throws it to the inside in turn number 4. Look at the gap now for Manson. Brienza tried to go around the outside, locked up the left front. Barely made it around the corner, but didn't cut the course. That would have been a penalty. So great driving here for Brienza. I love the fact that he's up on the wheel. 2 to go. Brienza, I think, significantly quicker now than Manson. He's going to have a couple laps to get it done. White flag will fly this time by. He's not going to be close enough to do it here. Essentially the last run down into turn 1. If he gets close enough, it would have to be a send into turn number 9 and 10. Garcia up the road by 3 seconds on Clark. No other action up front in terms of position changes. There's a lockup as well as the turn 3 drivers got it going on. That's the 3 of Golan. Brady Golan, Tyke Durst, and Cooper Becklin all fighting it out. So the turn 3 cars battling right now. for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Oh, Brienza is hanging it out to see if he can't get one more shot at Manson. White flag flying for Garcia. It would be his 8th win of the season and 4th in the last 5 races, coming off a 10th place, or rather a disappointing 9th after being spun in the opening lap at Toronto race number 2. As I said, the Champions Trophy waiting in victory lane along with P1, 2, and 3. Garcia trying to get it done. Brienza's going to get one more shot. I got a little early on it there. He is closing up again. I don't think it'll be enough to make a move here, but he could potentially line up for a pass in turn number 9. If you're over the 9, 10, 11 complex, get ready. Brienza's up on the wheel to try to go to P9. Look how close he's up. He's already eaten up that huge advantage. Leader through 9 and 10. Through 12. What a season it's been, folks. 8 races now for the driver. Already the champion, the winner of race 1 here in Portland. Max Garcia. Twin checkers from Aaron Likens. Garcia with his 8th win on the season. The turn 3 driver still battling further back. Here's Brienza. Look at the turn 3 guys going at it together. Is Brienza close enough to send it? The turn 3 guys are going at it. Boys, make sure you roll it back to the paddock. Becklin back to the inside, book it. Coop back to the spot. Not quite enough for Joey B, but Brienza pushed to the very end. Garcia with the win by 3.7 seconds. Matt Clark grabs 2nd, Frankie Mossman 3rd. 4th goes to Max Taylor, 5th to Jacob Douglas, 6th, Alessandra DiTullio, 7th, Michael Costello, 8th, Ariel Elkin, 9th, Sebastian Manson, and 10th, Joey Brienza. What a great final lap for Cooper Becklin. Sent it down the inside at turn 9. There are your unofficial results for race number 1 for USF Pro 2000, top level of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. These drivers just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series, trying to follow in the footsteps of Renus VK, Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, and Louis Foster. Garcia, 8th win. Back-to-back championships. If he wins tomorrow, he'll tie Kyle Kirkwood for all-time single-season wins. Garcia, Clark, Mossman, your podium. Pabst, exclusive, VRD with this 2nd place finish, and Elkin in 8th. Matt Clark will move into 2nd place in the championship standings by 9 points. Clark, the first driver into pit lane. There's the rest of the field there. Becklin 11th, Golan and Durst 12th and 13th, Carson Eder 14th, George Garcia Arce in and out of the pits, and then of course Miles Bromley, our only yellow flag, the incident over in turn number 2. Max Garcia brings that car down into the front of pit lane as he has done 7 times previously this year. And yet again, he has completed a full race. If he does it tomorrow, it will be 2 years straight where he has not missed a single lap. That leads number 1 on the driver, number 2 on the team. That car prepped to the point where no mechanical failures, no issues. And Garcia not putting a wheel wrong. 8 wins on the season now, already the champion. Talking to Indy Next squads for where he's going to be next year. Garcia's got to get that race hat on. Done it so many times this year, it's pretty easy to get it done. There's a system. Folks, he'll come out of the car. You're going to see him in Indy Next in 2026. Max Garcia, his 8th win of the season. Started 3rd, got the lead in the opening lap when Mossman went a little deep into the corner. P3 to P1 in a matter of 2 corners. A sound congratulations from the team. Owner Augie Pabst there. There's Billy Vincent working with Meyershank Racing. Billy's known Garcia since the karting days. Max actually raced for Billy's karting operation, MPG Motorsports. Good stuff. So we'll get these drivers weighed in. We'll head over to Victory Lane. We're going to get a chance to talk to all 3 of our drivers. And, of course, as we know, we'll have to award Max Garcia with his Champions Trophy as well. Come and join us, folks. Victory Lane. And then we'll get back at it. Lots of racing, as we know, as USF Junior set to go at 2:30 this afternoon. Autograph session for Junior starting at 12 o'clock, 12:30 for USF 2000 and these USF Pro 2000. Drivers come and join us at the noon hour for our autograph session. But now it's time to head down to Victory Lane.
All right, Phil, that was
Awesome.
the best race so far this season.
Green all the way, caution-free, no incidents. Way different than yesterday's action.
Way different than yesterday. Top 10 is up on the screen right now. Joey Brenzia, number 10. Sebastian Manson, number 9. 8th finishing was Ariel Elkin. Michael Costello in 7. Alessandro DiTullio in 6. Jacob Douglas 5th. Max Taylor 4th. Frankie Mossman 3rd. Matt Clark 2nd, and of course your winner, Max Garcia, who's had the dominant year, as we just heard our friend Rob Howden talk about.
One race away tomorrow to maybe tie Kyle Cookwood.
So awesome, so awesome. What a great series for him. Getting ready for the podium celebration down here. They are just about ready to go, and we will hear from our friend Rob Howden with your top 3. Again, Max Garcia takes the victory. Matt Clark 2nd. Frankie Mossman is 3rd place. But we are just getting started. What a beautiful day out here at Portland International Raceway. It is glorious. Let's throw down to Rob Howden. Rob, take it away.
Thank you, Bobby. Indeed, down here with the drivers who finished on the podium here in the first of 2 races for USF Pro 2000. Frankie Mossman started on the pole. Little break, lock up. That's all it took. You were back to P3.
Yeah, I kind of figured, because we're going to be going a lot slower into 1, that I could bring my break point a lot further forward than I actually, could have. And it was a big mistake by me, but luckily we were able to keep it in 3rd around, battled a little bit with Max at the start of the lap, and then we were, like how me and Mac talked about, we were kind of in a conga line the whole time. It's a bit difficult to pass around here, a lot more than I expected. And so, but we did the best we could, and I'm just going to do a much better job in race 2,
Any surprise with the racetrack at all now that IndyCar and Indy Next have been out there?
Yeah, I thought the conditions were going to be a bit similar to yesterday, how qualifying was for us, because they went out for their first practice, but the track was super slick online, so it was a lot. It kind of caught me off guard a bit more than I really expected.
Solid drive.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's grab Matt Clark here as well. Matt, come on, join me over here. Again, taking over P2 in the championship standings by 9 points with that great run. P2, are you happy with that? I know you want that race win. It's eluded you all year.
I mean, it's nice to stand on the podium again, Rob. I think it's like our 11th or 12th time this year, so it's always great when you're a little bit disappointed with the P2. Max has been fast all year, so we're going to work on chasing him hard tomorrow.
What do you got to do to stop this guy?
You know what? I think we're going to go back to the hauler. I have a great team, the Exclusive Autosport, that gives me the right support system. We're going to look at the data, look at some of the notes I'm going to make tonight, and see what we can do with the race car for tomorrow.
He's been great all year long, folks. Matt Clark coming home in 2nd. Let's get Max Garcia over here. He is the champion already. Put an exclamation point on the end of this season. What do you think about that start, going to the inside, and then somehow you end up with the lead coming out of turn number 1?
I think it was the plan. We knew if we made it through turn 1, we had a good chance of advancing our position. Obviously, coming out in the lead was better than I could have hoped for, but after that, it was really just set sail. We knew we had the car. We made a few changes from yesterday, so we knew it was just all about hitting lap time and not burning the rears off.
I talked to the show about the fact that you could probably put it on cruise control right now if you wanted. You already have the championship, but that's not what you guys do, is it?
No, never. We always show up to win.
Well done, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rob.
One more for Max Garcia, folks, and he will be tied with Kyle Kirkwood for single-season victories at 8. Great job for Garcia. All right, let's get underway here right now as we, of course, have the podium to do first. Then we're going to roll into the championship celebration as well. We have our series champion trophy here for Max Garcia, having locked that down in Toronto. Let's start with the driver coming home today in 3rd place. Just talked to him from VRD Racing. A round of applause for Frankie Mossman. Great job for Frankie. He'll be gunning for that win tomorrow as well. Finishing in 2nd, now 2nd place in points as well from Canada and Exclusive Autosport, Matt Clark. Well done, Matt. Congratulations. Go to that P2 spot. for the 7th or 8th time on the year. Now, folks, put your hands together. My winner today for Pabst Racing and your champion, Max Garcia. Indy next bound in 2026. What a season it's been for Max, and as I said before, you think about the consistency. He has finished every lap for 2 years straight. Not a mechanical DNF, not an issue with him on the racetrack, but consistency is what IndyCar owners love. Excellent job for Max Garcia, as we had said. Champagne waiting in the wings. Then we're going to bring Max back up because we got one more trophy to give him to cap off this celebration. Hat dance, of course. Big thank you to all our sponsors as part of our program of the USF Pro Championships. We couldn't do without them. Of course, our cars themselves, the Tatis race cars, Continental Tires, all the good folks that work with us as part of our program, VP Racing Fuels, Carl Haas Auto. Again, these drivers, I always talk about this, just 2 steps away from IndyCar. Just a couple of years ago, this was Pato O'Ward, this was Louis Foster, this was Christian Rasmussen, this was Kyle Kirkwood. This is where the stars come from. David Maluka is a race winner here at Portland in this category, USF Pro 2000. So these are the drivers you're going to watch here in IndyCar in a couple of years. We'll have the champagne celebration, but one more trophy still to come, as I had said. Drivers, grab that champagne. Let's have our first celebration of the day. Champagne in hand, grip it and rip it, guys. Let's celebrate another race win for Max Garcia and 2 great, fantastic podium finishes for Matt Clark and Frankie Mossman. Mac and Frankie, you can head off to the side there, grab your trophy. We have one more trophy. We probably could have had it in Toronto, but we didn't have the trophy up in Canada. It's with us here now because he locked it down. Max Garcia did race number 1 in Toronto. But this is what we do. We do it every year here at Portland. It's a chance to celebrate the new champion in any series. We'll get him up here momentarily. The trophy, of course, waiting in the wings. Let's get Max Garcia. Actually, let's get we'll get Max, leave him down. Let's bring up first Michelle Kish, the COO of Anderson Promotions, and from Continental Tire, Mr. Bruce Foss. Let's get you guys up here first. They've got the big trophy. Max, you stay down there. Don't be coming up yet. Yeah, go say hi to your dad. That's perfect. Again, thrilled to be working with Continental Tire here this year. Great program, fantastic people, great product, as you know. Michelle Kish, as we said, the COO of Anderson Promotions. She runs the show here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do this right now and do it officially. We didn't do it in Toronto, but let's do it here. You guys are all with us. We love it. He's going to be an Indy next driver in 2026. Presenting to you our champion for USF Pro 2000, Max Garcia! Scholarship worth almost $600,000 for him to move to next in 2026, following in the footsteps, of course, most recently for Lucky Hughes, Miles Rowe, Louis Foster, these young drivers who are going to be the next generation of NTT IndyCar stars. Let's get some shots here with Max, with that trophy that every one of these young drivers was fighting for here. Get that thing up in the air. Enough power. One more time, folks, a round of applause. Champion for 2025 at USF Pro 2000, Max Garcia from Pabst Racing. They take the team championship as well. Max, thank you so much. Exit stage right. Again, the champion and the winner. One more race win next tomorrow, and he ties Kyle Kirkwood for the single season win record. We've got lots of racing coming for you today. Autograph session at 12 o'clock and 12:30. And then, of course, as I said, USF 2000, one more race. USF Juniors will cap their season off with 2 races here today as well. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on the YouTube channel. We do appreciate it. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.